Is Shiba Inu going to a dollar? Is it going to a penny? Is it going to 1/10 of a penny? Or is it a dead coin? Well, I don't think it's a dead coin. And to be honest with you guys, I don't even think it can go to 1/10 of a penny either. So what is Shiba Inu going to do? Well, let's talk a little bit about it in this video, guys. I am bullish on cryptocurrency. I do think that there's upside for Shiba Inu, but there is a tough reality that we're right now facing in the crypto market on the macro side, and specifically on Shiba Inu. I don't really love what I'm seeing when it comes to the meme coin market and some of the competition, and I will explain it for you guys in this video. Again, I think there's upside for SHIB, but I want to get realistic into what we can actually expect for SHIB. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I'm Crypto Kip. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Please note, nothing here is financial advice, but let's talk about Shiba Inu. First off, we can't really expect Shiba Inu to achieve the market cap of Ethereum. I don't believe that's a likely scenario, maybe ever. Dogecoin is the #1 meme coin, and Shiba Inu is a copycat of that. And Shiba Inu has benefited greatly from that. There were many Shiba Inu millionaires that have been made. But to expect this $6 billion market cap coin, which it's crazy that Shiba Inu is at $6 billion. At one point, it was at $44 billion, which it could certainly get there again, in my opinion. But it'd be unrealistic to expect Shiba Inu, which previously topped out at about $44 billion, to get to the $571 billion market cap that is Ethereum. Why should Shiba Inu be bigger than Ethereum? It shouldn't. It just shouldn't. That would be wild. There would have to be $30-40 trillion in the crypto market for something like that to even be feasible. And even then, I think it's a stretch. So what can Shiba Inu do? I think maybe it could 2x its previous high, 80 or 100 billion, maybe. But are we going to see that in this cycle? Well, it's kind of up in the air right now, and I want to explain that, guys. And just note, if you look at the prices right now, if Shiba Inu was to achieve the previous all-time high that Ethereum had, which is wild, it still would just be under 1/10 of a penny, okay? So the dollar SHIB price predictions, the penny SHIB price predictions, and even the 1/10 of a penny, 3 zeros or 2 zeros, 1, okay, is kind of an outlandish prediction for Shiba Inu. And that's something that, yes, I've had those numbers on my thumbnails, and every video where I've had a penny or 1/10 of a penny on my thumbnail or a dollar Shiba, I've been telling you guys, it's something that's not realistic, okay? And you know, I'm not the only one who thinks that. You know, it gets explained in this article by the Crypto Basic. You know, here's why Shiba Inu's 1 penny seems impossible, and also Shiba 1/10 of a penny appears unrealistic. And they kind of explain out exactly what I just explained for you and a little bit more. But at the same time, these same publications are writing things like, if you hold 1,000 Shiba Inu, can you make you rich by 2035? I mean, you might be able to make 10, 20, 30, or I don't know, 30 grand. Maybe you can get a 30x on Shiba Inu by 2035. But can you make $1 million on $1,000 in Shiba Inu? I think the answer is probably no. The answer is probably no. Now, the cool thing about Shiba Inu is it is very volatile. And in that, you're going to have a lot of trading opportunities. Like, here's the price action for Shiba Inu today. And just in the last hour or so, we saw Shiba Inu come down 2.7% from the high to the low. That's a huge move that you can trade. If you want to do some trading on this volatility and you're looking at the charts, finding support, finding resistance, you can sign up to use Blowfin via our link in the comments in the description down below. I like trading Shiba Inu a lot, and I don't mind the idea of holding some as well. But here's what the problem is right now. There's a lot of competition. Look at the biggest gainers and the biggest losers over the last little bit. And the biggest gainers, I'm not really seeing any meme coins in here. Let's look at some of the bigger losers. These were some of the things that were pumping a lot recently. You got SPX 6900. You've got Fartcoin, okay? You've got Pepe, right? These have been getting a lot more action to the upside and to the downside, mostly to the upside, more so than Shiba Inu. Pepe, Fartcoin, SPX 6900, all these coins outperformed Shiba Inu in what we've had of this bull market so far. And what Shiba Inu is at the risk of right now is other altcoins, other meme coins specifically, outshining it. right? Everybody's always been looking, since Dogecoin came around, everybody was looking for the next Dogecoin. Then Shiba Inu came around and everybody was looking for the next Shiba Inu. Now Pepe came around and Pepe's really hot. Everybody's looking for the next Pepe. But as you continue to get these big coins that come out, everybody's looking for the next whatever. And people are finding it in coins right now that frankly aren't really Shiba Inu. You know, it's a difficult conversation. You know, why would you go big in on Shiba Inu when you could go big in on Dogecoin if they're going to be giving similar returns? There's an argument to be made that Shiba Inu could still give bigger returns than Dogecoin because it's a smaller market cap, but my mind changes as I take in the news and as I look at the data and as I understand these market, and just frankly, as I look at Shiba Inu, yes, I think it can go from a $6 billion market cap to a what was previously its high at $44 billion, and it might even go to a $60 billion market cap, right? Just look at here's the chart again for Shiba Inu, looking at market cap here, pulling back to all time. Yeah, it went up to 30 something. Actually, it's not showing it, but it went up to 44 billion. That was the high for market cap for Shiba Inu. The only way it can go a bunch higher is if you see massive burns for Shiba Inu. At one point, we saw Vitalik Buterin burn half the supply of Shiba Inu. The supply right now is 589 trillion. Hey, if all of a sudden we get a $250 trillion Shiba Inu burn, that can change the equation very quickly, and with the tokenomics behind it, it can help this thing spike up a lot easier. I think that it is realistic to maybe even see Shiba Inu get to this previous high, maybe double it, maybe go to 60 billion from where we're at right now, maybe even go to 100 billion. If I had to be honest about it, I do think at this point it's more likely for Pepe to hit $100 billion in market cap than it is for Shiba Inu to do so. Why do I say that? Well, because Pepe has a little bit more momentum. It's a little bit newer, and people are probably looking at it, in my opinion, as the next Shiba Inu. That does not mean that if you're holding Shiba Inu that it's a bad play, or that it's, and maybe it's a fantastic play, right? I want to remind you guys, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. But what I do want to do is talk about realistic scenarios for this coin. In my mind, my personal opinion. And my personal opinion, I think it could achieve the previous highs that it saw. We already saw it get to a $20 billion market cap at some point in 2024. I think we can get higher than that, but what we really need is an altcoin season, and we just haven't seen that yet, and I think that it could be coming. Here's the chart for Shiba Inu. Unfortunately, in the short term, I'm looking at this kind of horizontal wedge, okay? And the bottom of it takes us back down to this 507 level. There is a chance that Shiba Inu still comes down another 36 or 40% before we get a bounce and move back to the top of the trend line. What you really need to be on the lookout for is an altcoin season. And are we getting it? When are we going to get it? Well, with the Fed preventing the rate cuts right now because of the fear of inflation, because of the tariffs that are going on, and because of the global conflict, we're not seeing the altcoin rally happen yet, but here's what we got to keep an eye on for. Bitcoin to top out, which could happen around 73%. Could happen sooner. If all of a sudden we get the Fed to cut rates, you could see an altcoin rally get triggered. But you need to see this move for Bitcoin dominance. This is Bitcoin's dominance in the market. If this starts to fall down again, I believe strongly that Shiba Inu will get a rally, possibly a 10x rally, possibly something a little bit bigger maybe. But 2x, 5x, 10x is something that's feasible for Shiba Inu when you start looking at your 20 to 100x scenarios for Shiba Inu, especially in this bull market. Very, very unrealistic in my personal opinion. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? I want to know your genuine feedback in the comments down below. That is all I have for you in the Shiba Inu update, guys. I'm bullish on Shiba Inu, but I do want people to have a realistic expectation of what could potentially be out there, and I can't predict the future. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know what exactly happens next, but this is the way I'm looking at the market right now, and I want to share with you guys in this one. That's all I got. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, DCA HODL. I'll see you in the next one, guys. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. Until next time, peace, guys.